Welcome to the World History 1 lecture series. At the end of each slide there will be a 10-second delay. Use this time to pause the presentation and complete your notes. When you are done, push play and you will move forward. This lecture will begin in 5 seconds. Welcome to World History 1 Lecture 9.9 on the Northern Renaissance, and here's a map of Renaissance Europe in 1500 CE. We recognize a lot of these places. This is the nation-state of France. Here's the Holy Roman Empire, and this is the monarchy of England. We also see the Islamic Ottoman Empire and Russia. But we know that when it comes to the Renaissance, it's all happening in northern Italy. For example, Da Vinci's painted the Mona Lisa, Michelangelo sculpted David, Machiavelli wrote his book on government, The Prince, and it all starts with Petrarch's sonnets, which lead us to the concept of humanism. So when it comes to the Renaissance, we've got this. Hey, what about us? Is there a Renaissance in Northern Europe? What does that Renaissance look like? What comes out of that Renaissance, and how will that Renaissance affect modern Western history? Well, today we're going to answer those questions, and with that said, let's go to the next slide. There is a Renaissance in Northern Europe. It happens later than the Italian Renaissance, and it happens in nation-states, not individual cities. The Northern Renaissance occurs outside of Italy from 1440 to 1592 CE. So it's occurring in places like England, France, Spain, and the Holy Roman Empire, which will become modern Germany. Unlike the Italian Renaissance, art and literature reflects Northern European culture. People in Northern Europe are looking at their world from a different perspective, but they're looking at Northern European culture from a different perspective. Here's another major difference. The Northern Renaissance was driven by the growing wealth of English and German nobility. Wealthy patrons are not merchants, they are the monarchies running these nation states. For example, Queen Elizabeth of England is the patron of William Shakespeare. Go to the next slide. Another key difference between the Northern Renaissance and the Italian Renaissance is the way in which information is spread between people in Northern Europe. The Northern Renaissance is encouraged by the mass production of books and the rise of general literacy. Look at this chart. You learned that almost everybody in Northern Europe forgot how to read during the medieval era. The Renaissance happens because people in Northern Europe become literate. The question is, what type of books are they reading, and what do those books say? Well, when it comes to the type of books they're reading, Johannes Gutenberg invented the wooden movable type printing press in 1440 CE, which allowed for the widespread diffusion of information. Up to this point, somebody had to sit down at a desk and write out a book by hand. It took a long time. There were very few books out there, and those books were expensive. Now, Gutenberg can mass produce the same copy of a book. There are more books in circulation, they are cheaper, and the population can read them. What are they reading about? Christianity. The Gutenberg Bible is the first and best example of books being used to spread information to the general population quickly and efficiently. In other words, now we can get the word out to everyone. Go to the next slide. Because of the innovation in the way people spread information in Northern Europe, the accomplishments of the Northern Renaissance focus primarily on literature. But just like in Italy, we need to go back into the medieval era to see where it all began. The Canterbury Tales is written by Geoffrey Chaucer around 1372 CE and follows a group on a pilgrimage through medieval England. This book is the foundation for the Renaissance in literature. Let's see what we got out of it. In Praise of Folly is an essay written by Erasmus in 1511 CE that discusses, among other things, the failings of a corrupted Catholic Church. Writers in Northern Europe are learning to not only look at their world from a different perspective, but to use their writings to help others look at the world from a different perspective. Another example of this is Utopia, which is written by Sir Thomas More in 1516 CE, and it explored the idea of a perfect society. And then there's this guy, William Shakespeare, who's around from 1564 to 1616 CE, and he wrote multiple plays and sonnets. He wrote comedies like A Midsummer Night's Dream, and he wrote tragedies like Macbeth. So, it's not all comedies for the bard. Go to the next slide. Not only is there an innovation in the way people spread information in Northern Europe, there is also an innovation in the way people are taught that information. Modern era universities start in Northern Europe. For example, the University of Paris is founded in France in 1150 CE. Oxford University is founded in England in 1167 CE, and the University of Salamanca is founded in Spain in 1218 CE. We've got the University of Bologna in Italy, and then we've got the universities of Paris, Oxford, and Salamanca in Northern Europe, and these four universities are the beginning of modern Western higher education. In fact, these schools are the forerunners of American universities and colleges. So, if you're going to go to the University of Virginia or any school of higher education, you've got to say, thank you, Northern Renaissance. Finally, let's take a look at Northern art. Northern art is like Italian art in that it reflects religious and secular subjects. That's it for this lecture, and I look forward to seeing you in class.